talking teen takeovers, aka flash mob mania. Believe it or not, these hostile takeovers are not random. They are highly organized digital flash mobs, coordinated through social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat. Some people, me included, believe outside activist groups and political dark money may be fueling the chaos by encouraging mass civil disobedience. Let's take a closer look into this disturbing phenomenon sweeping the nation. Here we go.
Another teen takeover. This time in Chicago's Hyde Park neighborhood.
This didn't end until like midnight. They were here for a long time.
Crowds of teenagers flooded the streets, stomping and walking over vehicles. It's the latest incident in what police and city leaders have described as a growing trend of so-called teen takeovers.
And where were
Hundreds
you?
of kids right there.
Jason Hale says his vehicle was one of about 30 that were damaged.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The hood is completely messed up. It's terrible. I'd say like $1,000 worth of damage probably. I have dents everywhere, footprints everywhere.
These gatherings, often organized on social media, have been popping up across Chicago, leading to fights, property damage, injuries, and in some cases, death. Jason believes it's all about kids having the right guidance growing up.
Your kids should not be out here. When I was a kid, I wouldn't even think to do stuff like this. I'm just being honest, I wouldn't. But I had parents who guided me. They guided my decisions of what I did. These parents, they just let them run rampant. Something desperately needs to be done. I really hope that city leadership will come together and figure something else out.
Organizers spread AI-generated flyers online, advertising a meetup time. They usually hide the exact location until the very last minute to throw the cops off. In just a few minutes, these rendezvous can explode from a few dozen people into crowds of hundreds, flooding the streets, malls, and other public locations, including residential neighborhoods. Most teens show up to socialize and just be part of the scene. Listening to music, partying, drinking, doing drugs, dancing, hooking up and stuff. The criminal element in these scenes take advantage of the chaos and start committing vandalism, theft, fighting, and other disruptive behavior like burnouts and donuts right near other teens, which is extremely dangerous. Think about it. It's crazy. These teenage vandals have forced major cities to initiate emergency curfews, increase police presence, and restricted gathering zones to regain control of the streets and protect public safety. Listen to what retired NYPD Sergeant Joey Impetris had to say about all this and who he blames for these streets being out of control.
And imposing an emergency curfew after hundreds of teens take over the boardwalk there. But these teen takeovers are happening all over the country, with 3 people stabbed on a Rhode Island beach and that wild brawl inside a D.C. Chipotle. Retired NYPD Sergeant Joseph Imperatrice joins me now. And Joey, I look at that and I think it's natural to say, is this coming to a town, a beach, a Chipotle near me? Why is this happening?
common denominator, blue cities, blue states. You got governors and mayors that are Democrats like Zoran Mandami that have zero accountability, that don't go out there, don't enforce the law, don't let people know that this is not okay to do. Unfortunately, we're going to continue to see it happening if we keep on electing these individuals to office.
But it seems, again, I'm not a cop, but it seems every cop I've spoken to, there's this sense that this summer in particular is going to be a wild one with mayhem, violence, vandalism all over our country. What are these cops basing that, what they think is a gut feeling on their part, off of?
In law enforcement, from April to about September, October, that's when violent crime spikes.
I view everything through the lens of keeping my family safe. And obviously, like you said, summer's here. Summer starts this Friday, tomorrow, Memorial Day weekend. Should I be worried about taking my family to a beach, to a park, to a lake, in light of what we're seeing with these teens that are seemingly out of control?
People need to be cautious. Police officers can only do so much. They go out there every day to do their job. But unfortunately, if we continue to have these Democrat leadership in office, we're going to continue to see this happen over and over again. There's no condemnation. There's no one in front of a podium screaming and saying, we have to stop that. We have to go back to the Giuliani days. Zero tolerance, broken windows, lock people up.
All right, do me a favor, folks. If you're enjoying the show so far, go ahead and smash those like and share buttons so YouTube can get this video out to other viewers. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so we can all stay in the loop on subjects like these and help this channel grow. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this show. It really means a lot. Now let's get back to these teenage takeovers. Now, as we saw in that last video, the police sergeant said in no uncertain terms that blue cities and blue state leadership are to blame for these takeovers getting out of control because of their awful policies. And I agree with him 100%, because we have more than enough video footage of these socialist Democrat leaders like Zoran Mamdani explaining their philosophies on how these out-of-control teens should be handled. Here are two examples of Democrat leadership commenting on these takeovers, starting with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson and leading D.C. mayoral candidate Janice Lewis George. Whether they really believe this crap or not, it doesn't matter, because they still do what they say they're gonna do, no matter how unbelievably stupid it sounds. Take a look.
Pictures of who police are calling suspects. And you can tell from this picture right here, these are all children.
Mayor Brandon Johnson was asked about the incident this morning. He says it's about creating opportunities for children.
It's not just on the government to do that. We know that there are many community-based organizations, faith-led organizations, business leaders that are creating safe spaces and opportunities for our young people. Look, I've been in constant conversation with our alders around ways in which we can structure activity that does not put people in danger, in particular our young people.
When you don't put an emergency in place a month ago before the curfew expired, you invite the sort of intervention from federal agencies where D.C. doesn't do its job. And what we saw from Janice Lewis George was a failure to act.
Police right now do not need a curfew in place to hold these individuals accountable. They clearly violated the law. And so we don't need a youth curfew to do that. It's a dangerous tool to use right now because Trump's armed soldiers and agents are enforcing the curfew.
Now, did you hear what Janice Lewis George said at the end when speaking on curfews? She said, and I quote, "It's a dangerous tool to use right now because Trump's armed forces and agents are enforcing the curfews. And that's the problem with these so-called leaders. They use their TDS as an excuse for not wanting to enforce the laws they took the oath to uphold. And that's the real tragedy in all this. All right, folks, that's it for today. Remember to like, share, subscribe, smash the notification bell, and comment below. Let us know how you feel about these teen takeovers. And what you think about these blue city leaders' failure to enforce the laws they were sworn to uphold. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.